fire! There's a fire!" Charlotte Carter screamed, her voice echoing through the corridors of Little Stars Daycare. 15 children were in the building when the smoke thickened and they all panicked. Welcome, everyone, to the Golden Stories Heart family. Today, I'm going to tell you a breathtaking story. What happens when a poor woman saves a wealthy millionaire's twin children from a fire? But this isn't just a rescue story. There are dark secrets from the past, deadly betrayals, blood-chilling threats, and true love that ultimately triumphs. You'll experience heart palpitations, anger, tears, and finally, happiness. Are you ready to embark on an emotional journey? Dear viewers, please let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to rate the story from 1 to 10 at the end. Your comments are valuable to me. Let's begin. Enjoy watching. Stay calm, children. We're going outside right away. Charlotte picked up 3-year-old Emily while trying to gather the other children. Get in line. Don't run. We're walking toward the door. The daycare director, Mrs. Peterson, trembled as she called the fire department. Yes, this is Little Stars Daycare at 245 Park Avenue. The children are inside. Charlotte counted as she directed the children to the exit door. Emily, Sophie, Jake, Mia. The smoke was getting thicker by the second, and her chest started to burn. Charlotte, where are Mason and Noah? Asked 4-year-old Sophie, tears streaming down her cheeks. Charlotte's heart stopped. She hadn't seen the Bennett twins. I'll find them right away. You go outside with the others. Despite the smoke, Charlotte went back into the daycare and began searching for the children's voices. Mason, Noah, where are you? Answer me. We're here. We can't get out. The door won't open. The voices were coming from the bathroom. The door was stuck. The children were trapped inside. Okay, children, I'll get you out. Don't be scared. Charlotte is here. She tried to force the door, but it wouldn't open. The smoke had thickened. Her lungs felt like they were on fire. Don't cry, Noah. Charlotte will save us, Mason whispered to his brother. She always protects us. Charlotte put all her strength into pushing the door open. She couldn't breathe, but she wouldn't give up. These children were her responsibility. On the third try, the door finally opened. Inside, 2 small children hugged each other in fear as they waited. You came. Mason hugged Charlotte's neck. I knew you'd come. Of course I came. I would never leave you alone. Charlotte held each child by the hand, but her legs began to shake. As they approached the exit, she started to feel dizzy. Firefighter uniforms appeared at the door. There are children here. Charlotte shouted with all her strength. Then, her knees gave out and she collapsed to the ground. Charlotte! The twins knelt beside her. Firefighter Jack Morrison carried the children and Charlotte outside. By the time the ambulance arrived, Charlotte was semi-conscious. Are the children all safe? She mumbled. Yes, ma'am. All 15 children are safe. You're a hero, said paramedic Tom. Now let us take care of you. Christopher Bennett was leaving his office on the 45th floor of the Hudson Tech Tower in Manhattan when his phone rang. Mr. Bennett, there's an emergency with your children. We're at Mercy Hospital, came Mrs. Peterson's trembling voice. Christopher's world stopped. His heart began beating rapidly. What happened? How? I'm coming right away. He shouted to his driver, James. Go to the hospital as fast as possible. Run the red lights. He ran into the emergency room at Mercy Hospital. His suit was soaked with sweat. Where are my children? Mason and Noah Bennett. Please stay calm, sir, said Dr. Sarachan. Your children are safe. They have mild smoke inhalation, but it's nothing serious. They were lucky. Lucky? How lucky? Christopher was breathing heavily. If it weren't for their teacher, who saved your children. But she's in the ICU now. Christopher ran to room 3 where the twins were. Daddy! Mason opened his arms. Charlotte saved us. Like a superhero. Who is Charlotte, children? She's the most beautiful teacher at daycare. She got us out of the fire, but then she fainted, Noah explained, tears streaming down his face. We were so scared, but she came. Christopher hugged his children tightly. I was so scared for you. Something like this will never happen again, I promise. Can we see Charlotte? Will she be okay, Daddy? Mason asked. We want to thank her so much. Dr. Chen interrupted. She suffered serious smoke poisoning, but she's stable now. She'll recover in a few hours. She's a brave woman. Christopher went to Charlotte's room. The young woman was lying in bed with an oxygen mask on. She was dressed simply, without makeup, and had a peaceful expression on her face. Christopher felt strangely affected seeing her like this. Charlotte slowly opened her eyes. The children, how are Mason and Noah? They're in perfect condition, thanks entirely to you. I'm Christopher Bennett, the twins' father. I don't know how to thank you. Charlotte pulled the oxygen mask down slightly. No need, Mr. Bennett. They're my students. Protecting them was my duty. No, this went far beyond duty. You risked your life. Christopher took out his cell phone. How can I help you? Financial. Please stop. Charlotte's voice was firm but polite. I don't accept payment for saving children. Money isn't valuable to me. Christopher had never encountered such a response. But I must definitely do something. You don't have to do anything. Having your children safe is enough for me. The door opened, and an elegant elderly woman entered. Christopher, how are the children? Catherine Bennett looked worried. They're fine, Mother. This is Charlotte Carter, the lady who saved them. Catherine examined Charlotte carefully. Her clothing was simple and her manner was modest, but there was determination in her eyes. Simplicity and sincerity. How very interesting, Catherine thought to herself. Nurse Helen Walsh entered the room. I'm sorry, but visiting hours are over. The patient needs to rest. Christopher stood up. Thank you again so much. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. I won't need anything, Mr. Bennett. Good night. Charlotte closed her eyes. Fatigue was evident on her face. In the corridor, Helen whispered to Catherine, This girl is very different, ma'am. She refused the money. I've never seen anyone like her. I noticed that too, Helen. It's a very interesting situation, Catherine said, walking away thoughtfully. The next morning at Mercy Hospital, the sound of continuous crying came from Mason and Noah's room. No. I want Charlotte. Mason tried to prevent Nurse Linda from approaching. Children, I'm just going to give you your medicine, Linda said patiently. Where's Charlotte? We want to see her. Noah hid behind his brother. Dr. Sarah Chen entered the room. What's happening here? The children won't let anyone near them, doctor. They only talk about Charlotte, Linda explained helplessly. When Christopher hurried to the hospital, he saw the situation. Children, what's wrong with you? Daddy, we want Charlotte. Where is she? Mason was in tears. Charlotte is resting. The doctor will take care of you. No. We want Charlotte. Noah whined. Dr. Chen took Christopher out of the room. Mr. Bennett, this isn't normal. Let's call child psychologist Dr. Marcus Webb. An hour later, Dr. Webb arrived. He was a calm man and an expert at talking with children. Hello, Mason. Hello, Noah. I'm Dr. Webb. I'd like to talk with you. The twins looked at him suspiciously. Do you know Charlotte? Mason asked. No, but you can tell me about her. What did she do for you? She saved us. She got us out of the fire. Noah explained excitedly. After talking with the children for half an hour, Dr. Webb met with Christopher privately. Mr. Bennett, your children are experiencing rescuer attachment syndrome. It's common after traumatic events. What does this mean? The children see Charlotte as a source of security. When she's not around, they feel unsafe. Christopher frowned. So what's the solution? Charlotte's presence is necessary. At least until the children recover. At the Bennett mansion, Catherine was waiting for her son. When Christopher arrived home, he found her in the living room. How are the children? Catherine asked. They're doing badly. They only want Charlotte. They won't let anyone else near them. What about the nanny? Christopher sighed. Mrs. Henderson resigned. Dorothy Henderson had called Catherine that morning. Ma'am, I'm very sorry, but I'm quitting this job. These children are no longer controllable. I've been a nanny for 30 years, but I've never seen anything like this. Catherine stood up. Christopher, the solution is clear. Find that girl and hire her. Mother, she's a daycare teacher. Not a nanny. I don't care. She's what the children need. Go make her an offer. But, Christopher Bennett, find that girl and do whatever it takes. My grandchildren's health is more important than anything. Meanwhile, Charlotte was sitting with Jessica Morrison in her small Brooklyn apartment. The daycare director called, Jessica said, looking sad. What did she say? The daycare is closing. The fire caused too much damage. It will take at least 6 months to repair. Charlotte buried her head in her hands. So I'm unemployed. I'm sorry. Maybe you can apply to other daycares. Who will give me a reference letter? The daycare closed and the children scattered. Jessica sat beside her. We'll think of something. We'll figure it out together. You're in a difficult situation too, Jess. You can barely get by on your waitress salary. Friends help each other. The doorbell rang. Frank Martinez, the landlord, stood outside. Charlotte, we need to talk, he said sternly. Come in, Mr. Martinez. You're 2 months behind on rent. I saw the fire on TV. You lost your job, didn't you? Yes, but... Listen, girl. You're a good tenant, but this is my business. You have 3 days. If you can't find the money, you'll have to leave. After Frank left, Charlotte slumped at the kitchen table. What am I going to do, Jess? Maybe you could ask that rich man for help. You saved his children. Never. I didn't do it for money. I know, but this is different. You really need help. I have my pride, Jessica. I won't beg anyone for help. Jessica touched her friend's shoulder. Sometimes pride leaves you hungry, Charlotte. Still no. I'll find a way. That evening, as Charlotte tossed and turned in bed, her phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello? Miss Carter? This is Dr. Sarah Chen from Mercy Hospital. I'm calling at Mr. Bennett's request. Charlotte sat up. Are the children okay? Physically, they're fine, but there's a psychological problem. They only want you. They won't let anyone else near them. But Mr. Bennett wants to speak with you. It's a very important situation. Charlotte hesitated. When? Could you be at the hospital tomorrow? Charlotte looked at Jessica. Her friend nodded. Okay, I'll come. After hanging up, Jessica asked, What will you tell him? I don't know, Jess. I'd do anything for the children, but this is a complicated situation. Maybe it's fate, Charlotte. Maybe this is your opportunity. Or it could be a big mistake. Just listen to what he has to say. Then you can decide. Charlotte looked out the window. New York's lights sparkled, but the future had never seemed so uncertain. Do the twins really only want me? According to Dr. Chen, yes. They won't let anyone near them. Poor children. They went through so much trauma. Jessica smiled. You saved them, Charlotte. Now, they might be able to save you. What do you mean? This could be a job offer. You need help too. Charlotte took a deep breath. Tomorrow, everything could change. The next afternoon, as she was preparing for the meeting at the hospital, there was a knock on her door. Miss Carter? I'm James Mitchell, Mr. Bennett's driver, said the middle-aged man in a suit. Hello. Are we going to the hospital? No, ma'am. Mr. Bennett wants to see you at his home. You can talk more comfortably there. Charlotte hesitated. At his home? Is that appropriate? The children are there too, Mississippi. They've missed you very much. Charlotte turned to Jessica. What do you think? Go, Charlotte. This is an opportunity. As Charlotte got into the Mercedes, she noticed her hands were shaking. Mr. Mitchell, are the children really not well? They only want you, Mississippi. They're not eating or sleeping. Mr. Bennett is very worried. During the journey, James tried to comfort her. He's a good boss. He loves his children very much. They stopped in front of a magnificent mansion in one of Manhattan's most prestigious neighborhoods. Wow, Charlotte murmured. It's like a palace. It's been the Bennett family home for 80 years. At the door, a tall, serious-faced man greeted them. Miss Carter, I'm William Parker, the house butler. Welcome. Thank you. Charlotte entered and looked around. She saw crystal chandeliers, marble floors, and antique furniture. Mr. Bennett is waiting for you in the library. In the meantime, Helen will show you the house rules. An elderly woman with a warm face approached. I'm Helen Walsh, the housekeeper. I saw you at the hospital. Hello, Helen. The children have been waiting for you since this morning. They keep asking, when is Charlotte coming? As they walked to the library, Helen whispered, there are very strict rules in this house. Mississippi Mrs. Catherine is very particular. But you saved the children. They respect you. In the library, Christopher stood up. Thank you for coming, Miss Carter. How are the children, Mr. Bennett? They're in terrible condition. Dr. Webb said your presence is essential. Christopher showed her the files on the desk. I want to make you an offer. I want you to be my children's nanny. Nanny? I'm a teacher, Mr. Bennett. I know. But my children need you. I'll pay you $8,000 a month. Charlotte's eyes widened. $8,000? That's too much money. It's not too much for my children's health. Just until they recover. How long? Dr. Webb said 3 to 6 months. Maybe less. Charlotte thought. This money would solve all her problems. I have conditions. I'm listening. The children's well-being comes before everything. I won't interfere in your private life, but I'll have a say in matters concerning them. Agreed. Second, this is just business. Don't try to establish a personal connection. Christopher smiled. Understood. Is there anything else? When the children come home, they'll want to talk to me. Can I tell them the truth? Of course. Well, I accept. Just then, running footsteps were heard. The door opened and 2 small children ran in. Charlotte! Mason hugged her. You came. I knew you would. We missed you so much, said Noah, hugging her from the other side. I missed you too, children. How are you? We're fine now. Will you stay here? Mason asked hopefully. Yes, I'll stay with you for a while. The twins jumped with joy. Christopher watched the scene with tears in his eyes. His children were laughing for the first time in days. Children, show Charlotte her room. She's going to live with us now. At dinner, Catherine Bennett carefully observed Charlotte. Miss Carter, where did you grow up? In Detroit, ma'am. Your family? My mother died when I was little. My father died last year. Catherine nodded. I'm sorry. Education? Michigan State University, preschool education. It was unclear what Catherine thought, judging by her tone. Mason interrupted. Charlotte is the best teacher. She teaches us such beautiful games. And she reads us books, Noah added. Her voice is so beautiful. Catherine observed the natural bond between Charlotte and the children. Although the class difference was disturbing, her grandchildren's happiness was her priority. After dinner, Helen pulled Charlotte aside. Miss Carter, I need to tell you something. I'm listening. Mrs. Catherine is very particular. The house rules are strict. Breakfast is at 7 a.m., lunch is at 1 p.m., and dinner is at 7 p.m. Understood. The children go to bed at 9 and they shouldn't make noise. Mrs. Catherine goes to bed early. Is there anything else? Personal areas are separate. Don't get too close to family members. Keep your distance. Charlotte nodded. Thank you, Helen. But, Miss, Helen stopped. The children love you very much. Just be good to them. As Charlotte went up to her room, she heard sounds coming from the kitchen. She looked curiously. Welcome, beautiful. A warm-faced Latina approached her. I'm Maria Santos, the house cook. Hello, Maria. I heard you saved the children. You're a hero. I just did my duty. No. You're like an angel. The children in this house haven't been this happy in a long time. Maria gave Charlotte some freshly made cookies. My special recipe. The children love them. You're so kind. It will be hard to adjust here. The house is very big and there are many rules. But you're a strong girl. Charlotte smiled. Maria's warmth was good for her. Just then, security guard Tony Richards entered the kitchen. Are you the new nanny? He asked suspiciously. I'm Charlotte Carter. Tony Richards, security chief. Let me warn you, Everyone knows their place in this house. What do you mean? The boss is a very rich man. Many girls have come and gone. But they all left in the end. Maria intervened. Tony, don't scare the girl. I'm not scaring her. I'm just telling her the facts. If you came here for money, don't bother. Charlotte stood up. I didn't come for money, Mr. Richards. I came for the children. We'll see, said Tony, who was about to leave. But don't forget, I'm watching you. Maria shook her head. Don't mind him. He's suspicious of everyone. As Charlotte went up to her room, she thought, this house was a complicated place. But Mason and Noah were here, and they needed her. Before going to bed, she called Jessica. How did it go? Mixed. The children are wonderful, but the house is a whole other world. What did he say about money? $8,000 a month, Jessica. Can you believe it? Wow. All your problems are solved. I hope so. You're amazing, Charlotte. Make the most of this opportunity. After hanging up, Charlotte looked out the window at the mansion's garden. This would be her home now. At least for a while. How will the dark secret from Charlotte's past affect Christopher? Don't miss the continuation. If you like the story, press the like button. As Charlotte spent her first night in her room at the Bennett Manor, she felt out of place amidst all the luxury. The room was 3 times larger than her Brooklyn apartment. Silk curtains, antique furniture, and her own bathroom. Everything was perfect, yet cold. Lying in bed and staring at the ceiling, she listened to the silence of the house. For such a large house, it was odd to have so little sound. In Jessica's small apartment, there were neighbors and street noise. This place was like a museum. Can I be happy here? She murmured. When she woke up early the next morning, she heard Mason and Noah's voices. She quickly got dressed and went downstairs. Maria Santos was preparing breakfast in the kitchen. Good morning, beautiful. How was your first night? Good morning, Maria. It was a bit strange, but I'll get used to it. Of course you will. Sit down. Let me make you some coffee. Charlotte sat at the kitchen table. Maria, what's it like working in this house? I've been here for 15 years. Christopher was like a baby when I started. They're a good family, but they have very strict rules. For example, Mrs. Catherine wants everything to be on schedule. Meals, cleaning, everything must be on schedule. Charlotte sipped her coffee. What about Christopher? What kind of person is he? As a boss. Maria smiled. He has a good heart, but he's very lonely. He changed a lot after his wife died. He only focused on work. His wife died. Charlotte was surprised. Yes, 2 years ago. Victoria died very young. Christopher was very upset, as were the children. What happened? A car accident. Victoria used to drive very fast. One night. Maria shook her head. Charlotte felt her heart tighten. How young were the children? They were 3 years old. They barely remember their mother now. At that moment, Christopher entered the kitchen. Good morning, Maria. How are you, Miss Carter? I'm fine, thank you. Charlotte stood up. The children are waiting for you upstairs. They've been saying, we're going to play with Charlotte since last night. I'll go right away. As Christopher was leaving, Maria winked at Charlotte. Did you see? The way he looks at you. What do you mean? Nothing, beautiful. Nothing. When Charlotte went up to the twins' room, she found them playing with toys. Charlotte, you came. Mason ran over and hugged her. What are we going to play today? Noah asked. Charlotte examined the room. Everything was organized and almost sterile. You know, this room is a bit too tidy. How about we mess it up a little? Really? Grandmother Catherine will be angry, Mason said, worried. She won't be angry. We'll clean up after we play. But you need a little mess to play. Charlotte sat on the carpet. Come here. I'll teach you some special games. They played for hours. Charlotte taught them balance and breathing games. These were techniques used in trauma therapy. Now, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Think of a safe place. You are our safe place, Charlotte, Noah said innocently. Charlotte's heart melted. I love you very much too, children. What about when we grow up? Will you leave? Mason asked, worried. Let's not think about that now. For now, I'm here, and I'm having fun with you. While they were playing in the garden that afternoon, Tony Richards approached. Miss Carter, I want to talk to you. Of course, Mr. Richards. Don't step on that grass. Mrs. Carter had special landscaping done. I understand. One more thing. The boss is a private man. Don't stick your nose in his business. Charlotte frowned. What do you mean? You're just a nanny. Don't get too close. This house has seen many girls. They all knew how to leave. Mr. Richards, I'm just doing my job. Good. Keep it that way. After Tony left, Charlotte was disturbed. What did he mean? While she was setting the table for dinner, there was a knock at the door. Christopher had come home earlier than expected. Dad, the twins ran to him. Hello, children. How was your day? Charlotte taught us some beautiful games. We ran in the garden, too. Christopher looked at Charlotte. Thank you. I haven't seen them this happy in a long time. You're welcome. They're very sweet children. As Christopher walked into the living room, he secretly turned around to watch Charlotte play with the children. She was sitting on the floor building Legos with Mason and Noah. Their laughter and natural behavior. What does 2 plus 2 equal? Charlotte asked. 4, the twins shouted together. Well done. Now, let's count these Lego pieces. As Christopher watched, he felt a strange warmth inside. Such natural moments hadn't been seen in the house in a long time. Charlotte's bond with the children was real and sincere. Sir, dinner is ready, said William. Christopher startled. I'm coming. The next afternoon, Jessica Morrison came to visit. Wow, Charlotte. This place is like a palace. Don't exaggerate, Jess. Come, let me show you around the house. While sitting in the garden, Jessica studied Charlotte. You look different. How different? More rested and happier. This job is good for you. The children are wonderful, Jessica. Being with them makes me happy. What about the boss? What kind of person is he? Charlotte hesitated. He's a good father. He loves his children very much. How does he treat you? Respectfully. He's a very hard-working man. Jessica grinned. Charlotte, I've known you for 5 years. What do you mean? I can see this man looking at you. Jess, don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous. I saw him looking at you from the window just now. He's watching you. Charlotte blushed. This is a work-focused relationship. Nothing else. Sure. But don't forget, he's human too. And you're a very beautiful woman. Jessica Morrison. Stop it. Okay. But be careful. Don't let your heart get broken. My heart is already broken, Jess. Now, I'm only focusing on these children. Jessica squeezed her friend's hand. I know, Charlotte. But sometimes life has surprises in store for us. After Jessica left that evening, Charlotte thought about things in her room. Did Christopher really look at her differently? Or was it Jessica's imagination? She saw light coming from Christopher's study downstairs. He must still be working. Good night, children, she murmured, turning off her light. At that moment, Christopher was also looking at Charlotte's room from the window. Good night, Charlotte, he whispered into the darkness. They both thought the same thing all night. Was this really just a work relationship? On Wednesday afternoon of the 3rd week, while Charlotte was playing ball with the twins in the garden, a luxury Porsche pulled into the driveway of the manor. Who is this? Mason asked. I don't know, children. Let's go inside. Loud voices came from the living room. Christopher's voice sounded tense. Robert, you can't change my decision. Christopher, you've lost your mind. That project will bring in millions of dollars. As Charlotte took the children to the kitchen, Robert Kane stood up in the living room. He was a middle-aged, overweight man with arrogant eyes. By the way, who's your new nanny? Looks like she's trying to climb the social ladder. Christopher's face tensed. What do you mean? Come on, Christopher. Poor girl, rich boss. Classic story. She's trying to get close to you. Robert, take back your words. I'm telling the truth. Girls like this always do this. They use the children as an excuse. Enough. Christopher jumped up. Charlotte has brought so much to this family. You have no right to talk about her. Robert was surprised. Christopher, calm down. No. Charlotte saved my children's lives. They're happy for the first time. Who are you to judge her? Okay. Maybe I misunderstood. You definitely misunderstood. If you belittle Charlotte again, our friendship is over. As Robert left, Charlotte stood frozen in the kitchen. Christopher had defended her. Why? Everyone was quiet at dinner. Catherine had noticed her son's tense state. Christopher, how was your meeting with Robert? It didn't go well, Mother. Some people never change. Charlotte didn't lift her head. After dinner and after putting the children to bed, she went out to the garden. The air was cold, but she needed it. Robert Kane's words echoed in her mind. You're not alone, I suppose. Charlotte turned around. Christopher was standing at the garden gate. Mr. Bennett, I'm sorry. The children are asleep. I just came out for some air. Please don't apologize. I came out for some air too. Christopher came over to her. I apologize for Robert's words. It doesn't matter. People can think whatever they want. It matters to me. He doesn't know you. Charlotte looked at him. Do you know me? Christopher hesitated. Maybe I'm starting to. They walked side by side in silence. There was a fountain at the back of the garden. This place is so beautiful, Charlotte said. My mother designed this garden. She used to sit here for hours after my father died. When did he die? 5 years ago. Heart attack. It was very sudden. Charlotte felt close to him. I'm sorry. I lost my father last year too. How did it happen? Cancer. He fought for 6 months, but... Charlotte's voice trembled. Christopher saw her this closely for the first time. It must be difficult. Your mother. She died when I was 12. Car accident. You were left alone at a very young age. I lived with my father. He was like a mother and father to me. Those were difficult days in Detroit. How difficult? Charlotte sat on the edge of the fountain. My father was a factory worker. Money was always tight. Sometimes the electricity would be cut off and sometimes the water. But my father was always hopeful. He managed to send me to school. I won a scholarship. I worked night cleaning jobs and went to school during the day. It wasn't easy, but we made it. Christopher admired her strength. You're a very strong woman. There was no choice. You were either going to be strong or you were going to lose. Christopher sat next to her. I've never faced such difficulties. Everything was handed to me on a silver platter. This isn't your fault. But sometimes I think I wasn't aware of how lucky I was. Charlotte looked at him. Now you're aware. That's important. The business world is very stressful. There's constant competition and pressure. Sometimes I can't breathe. What do you do to relax? Nothing. I just work. Charlotte smiled. That's not healthy. You need to be strong for your children, too. What do you suggest? Simple things. Morning walks and breathing exercises. Spend more time with the kids. I have to work a lot. But you also have to live. Your children need their father. Christopher thought, looking at her. This woman was showing him a completely different perspective. You're right. Maybe I can be home more. Mason told me yesterday, my dad always works. He doesn't have time to play with us. Christopher's heart ached. Did he really say that? But he loves you very much. They just want more time. I'll try to come home early tomorrow. This will make them very happy. As they sat in silence, Christopher studied Charlotte. Her hair shone in the moonlight. Charlotte, I want to ask you something. Go ahead. Why haven't you ever married? You're beautiful, intelligent, and kind. Charlotte gave a bitter smile. Actually, I was going to marry. 2 years ago. What happened? There was someone named Michael. He was a police officer. I thought I could tell you the whole story. But he left at the last moment. Why? There was someone else. He only saw me as temporary. Christopher felt anger. He was a stupid man. Maybe it was for the best. If that was true love, then I was mistaken. True love doesn't hurt, Charlotte. It values you. Their eyes met. There was electricity between them, but they both avoided it. It's late. I should go inside, Charlotte said, standing up. Charlotte, thank you for this conversation. I haven't talked this intimately with anyone in a long time. Me too. Good night, Mr. Bennett. Good night, Charlotte. Inside, Catherine was talking with William. William, my son has been acting differently lately. Did you notice? Yes, ma'am. He seems more relaxed. He's also home more often. He used to only work. Miss Carter seems to have a positive effect. Catherine looked out the window at the garden. Christopher and Charlotte were talking. This situation is developing interestingly. Helen approached. Mrs. Catherine, I brought tea. Helen, did you notice too? The house is different now. Helen smiled. Yes, ma'am. It's warmer now. There are children's voices and laughter. Before Miss Carter, the silence here was terrible. You're right. My grandchildren are very happy. William nodded. Mr. Christopher is too. He looks happy too. Catherine turned to the window, looking thoughtful. This young woman is changing my family. Let's see if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Helen dared to speak up. Madam, maybe change was needed. Maybe, Helen, maybe. As Christopher and Charlotte parted ways in the garden, they were both thinking the same thing. Everything had changed that evening. They were no longer just boss and nanny. But what would they become? While Charlotte was watching television with the twins in the living room, a news story about a fire came on. On the anniversary of the fire tragedy that occurred in Manhattan 3 years ago, families were remembered. Among them was Michael Bennett. Charlotte's remote fell to the floor. Michael's photo was on the screen. Charlotte, are you okay? Mason asked worriedly. Charlotte couldn't breathe. Her heart beat wildly. Charlotte. Noah was scared. Charlotte tried to stand up, but her legs were shaking. She held onto the wall to maintain her balance. Children, go to Maria, she said breathlessly. Mason ran to the kitchen. Maria. Charlotte is sick. Maria dropped the dishes and ran to the living room. Charlotte was sitting on the floor, breathing rapidly. Dios mío. Charlotte, breathe slowly. I can't breathe. Calm down, beautiful. I'm here. Maria moved the twins away. Children, go to the garden. Charlotte needs air. Just then, Christopher came home. Maria, what's happening? Christopher. Charlotte is sick. She can't breathe. He immediately crouched next to her. Charlotte, look at me. Breathe with me. Her teary eyes focused on him. Take a deep breath. Follow me. In, out. In, out. Charlotte's breathing slowly improved. Good. Very good. Continue. 5 minutes later, she had recovered. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. You had a panic attack. It's okay. Christopher stayed next to her and asked, what triggered this? Charlotte looked at the television. The news was over, but fear still lingered in her heart. The news on TV, the fire. Christopher understood. You remembered the fire from the past. Yes, sometimes this happens. Often. Charlotte nodded. Sometimes I have nightmares. Sometimes I hear sounds. Christopher was worried. Have you gotten help for this? I did therapy for a while, but it was expensive. I'll call Dr. Webb. He's an expert in these matters. No need. I'm fine. No, Charlotte, you need to heal. Maria brought the twins back. Is Charlotte okay now? I'm fine, children. I was just tired. Mason sat next to her. We're sometimes scared of fire too. I know. But now you're safe. You're safe too, Charlotte. We'll protect you, Noah said, his expression serious. Charlotte smiled. Thank you, children. Everyone was quiet at dinner. Catherine had heard what happened. Miss Carter, how do you feel? I'm fine, ma'am. I'm sorry for the disturbance. Don't apologize. Trauma is a serious condition. Christopher intervened. I made an appointment with Dr. Webb for tomorrow. Christopher, it's really not necessary. Charlotte, this is not debatable. Your health is important. Catherine noticed her son's concern for Charlotte. Was he only worried as her employer? The next morning, Dr. Marcus Webb met with Charlotte privately. Miss Carter, the symptoms you experienced are typical signs of PTSD. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Your experience with the fire has deeply affected you. Is there treatment? Of course. We use therapy and sometimes medication. But there's something I want to ask you. What is it? Did someone else die in that fire too? Charlotte froze. Why did you ask? Because your reaction isn't just fear of fire in general. There's a more specific pain. Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. Yes. I couldn't save someone. Who was it? Michael Bennett, Christopher's brother. Dr. Webb was surprised. Does Christopher know about this? No, and he shouldn't. Why? Because I feel guilty. For not being able to save him. Miss Carter, this is important information. You might need to share it with Christopher. No. Please don't tell anyone. There's doctor-patient confidentiality. But think about it, maybe sharing it would be good for you. When Charlotte returned home, Jessica had come to visit. Charlotte, how are you? Christopher called. You had a panic attack. I'm fine, Jess. Just something from the past was triggered. Jessica studied her carefully. You're different. How different? More anxious looking. And this Christopher matter. What about Christopher? Charlotte, you're falling in love with him. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous. I can see it in your eyes. Your tone changes when you talk about him. This is just work, Jessica. Yes, but in your heart, it's more than just work. Charlotte sat down. Jess, it's complicated. Why? He's single, and so are you. Because there's something in my past related to him. What? Charlotte hesitated. I can't say, not yet. Charlotte, keeping secrets is making you sick. I know, but I have no other choice. Meanwhile, Tony Richards was on the phone in his office. Yes, I want information about Charlotte Carter. Birth date, March 15, 1995. Born in Detroit. After hanging up, he began researching on his computer. Michigan State graduate, kindergarten teacher. But what's this? The screen showed records indicating that Charlotte had worked as a firefighter. She was a firefighter? Why did she hide this? He continued the research. It said she responded to a fire 3 years ago, was injured, and left her job. I wonder which fire it was? When he opened the file, the address shocked him. Michael Bennett's apartment. Tony jumped up. This woman is related to Michael's death. I need to tell Christopher. But he stopped. Maybe I should gather more information first. That evening, after putting the children to bed, Charlotte went out to the garden. Christopher found her there. How do you feel? Better. Thank you for Dr. Webb. You're welcome. Your health is important. Christopher, I want to ask you something. Sure. Your brother, Michael, were you close to him? Christopher's face saddened. We were very close. He was my best friend. How did he die? In a fire. There was a fire in his house. The fire department came, but they were too late. Charlotte's heart filled with pain. I'm sorry. I can never forget that day. Michael called me. There was fear in his voice. But I couldn't go. Why? I was in a business meeting. I'll regret it forever. Charlotte wanted to tell him. She wanted to tell him that she had tried to save Michael and that she had heard his last words in the hospital. But she couldn't. Charlotte, are you okay? You look pale. I'm fine, just tired. Maybe you should rest. Yes, good night, Christopher. Good night, Charlotte. As Charlotte went up to her room, she thought, how will I tell him? What will happen when he learns the truth? Could Charlotte have saved Michael but didn't? What do you think? Let's discuss it in the comments. Tony Richards entered Christopher's office early the next morning. He had a file in his hand. Mr. Bennett, I've researched Charlotte Carter. Christopher looked up. I didn't ask you to do that. For security, sir. I research every new staff member. Well, what did you find? Tony placed the file on the desk. Charlotte Carter isn't just a kindergarten teacher. She's actually a former firefighter. Christopher's eyebrows furrowed. Firefighter? Yes, sir. She worked in the fire department for 5 years. She left the service 3 years ago. Why did she leave? She was injured in a fire. But what's really interesting is. Tony paused. Continue, Tony. The fire happened at Michael Bennett's house, sir. Christopher froze. What did you say? Charlotte was on the firefighter team that responded to the fire where your brother, Michael, died. Christopher jumped to his feet. Are you sure? Yes, sir. The reports are here. Charlotte tried to save Michael, but she couldn't. Christopher's world swayed. Why did she hide this information? I wanted to ask you that question, sir. Leave me alone, Tony. Don't show this file to anyone. After Tony left, Christopher collapsed into his chair. Why hadn't Charlotte told him? How could this be such a coincidence? When Christopher came home, Charlotte was playing with the twins in the garden. But Christopher now saw everything differently. Charlotte, can we talk? Of course. Children, play a little more. They went to the library. Christopher's face was serious. Charlotte, I want to ask you something, and I want an honest answer. Charlotte's heart raced. Go ahead. Have you ever worked as a firefighter? Charlotte's face paled. Yes. Why didn't you tell me? Because it wasn't important. Not important? You worked in the fire department for 5 years. That's in the past, Christopher. I don't do that job anymore. Well, which fire did you respond to 3 years ago? Charlotte froze. He knew everything. He knew everything. Christopher, Michael's fire. You were at Michael's death. Yes. Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. Yes, I was there. And you think this is a coincidence? You're coming here. Of course it's a coincidence. I was working at the kindergarten. I didn't know your children. But you knew Michael. No. I only saw him that night. Christopher paced angrily. How can this be? How can such a coincidence? Christopher, please listen. No. You lied to me. Who are you really? Charlotte couldn't hold back her tears. I'm Charlotte Carter. I'm no one else. Then why did you hide it? Because I couldn't save him. I felt guilty. Christopher stopped. What? I tried to save Michael, but I couldn't. Then he died in the hospital. I blame myself. Christopher's anger had subsided somewhat, but his trust was shaken. This conversation isn't over, Charlotte. I need time. At dinner, everyone felt the tension. Catherine wondered about her son's condition. Charlotte, dear, you look a bit pale. I'm fine, ma'am. Really? It seems to be bothering you. Charlotte looked up. Pardon. Everyone has a past, Charlotte. Sometimes that past follows us. What do you mean? Catherine smiled, but it was cold. Just an observation. This was a very calm house before you came here. Mrs. Catherine. Now everything is chaotic. Secrets, drama. Isn't that interesting? Charlotte stood up. I'm sorry. I'm very tired. As she went up to her room, Mason knocked on her door. Charlotte, can I come in? Of course, my child. Mason sat next to her. Why are you sad, Charlotte? I'm not sad, Mason. But you cried. It's obvious from your eyes. Charlotte hugged him. Sometimes adults get sad. But it passes. Did Dad get angry with you? We argued a little. But it's not important. Noah entered the room too. Charlotte, we love you very much. I love you very much too, children. You won't leave, will you? Mason asked, worried. Why would I leave? Because Dad looks sad. Will he fire you like he fired Victoria? Charlotte was surprised. Did he fire Victoria? Yes, he fired her after we left. She was mean to us. How mean? She didn't love us. She was always yelling. You never yell. Charlotte calmed the children. I'm not thinking of leaving, don't worry. In the kitchen, Maria waited for Charlotte. Sweetie, what's happening? Christopher is very tense. He found out about my past, Maria. Something bad. Bad for me. It's related to his brother. Maria approached. Michael? Were you at that fire? Yes. I tried to save him. Oh my God. That's why you're so sad. English, Maria. Sorry. That's why you're so sad. Christopher doesn't trust me anymore. Sweetie, listen to me. Everyone has secret. Everyone has pain in their past. But this is different, Maria. It's not different. You tried to save Michael. That's not a bad thing. But I couldn't succeed. You did your best. What else could you have done? I don't know, Maria. Maybe I could have gone faster. No, don't blame yourself. You're a hero. The next day, Dr. Sarah Chun came to check on the twins. Mr. Bennett, the children are in perfect condition. The trauma symptoms have completely passed. Really? Yes, Charlotte's therapy has been very effective. She understands child psychology. Is there a problem? You seem a bit tense. Christopher hesitated. There have been some developments regarding Charlotte. Bad developments? The children are very attached to her. I know. That's why it's difficult. Mr. Bennett, my advice to you is this. Charlotte has been good for the children, regardless of anything else that may be true. This is a fact. You're right, Doctor. Thank you. After Dr. Chun left, Christopher thought about it. Charlotte really was good for the children. But now there was a trust issue. That evening, after putting the children to bed, Charlotte waited for Christopher. Christopher, can we talk? I'm listening. I know you're angry. You're right too. I should have told you. Yes, you should have told me. But I was afraid. I thought that if you found out, you would blame me. I don't blame you, Charlotte. Really? You tried to save Michael. That takes courage. But I couldn't succeed. Charlotte, you did what you could. Nothing more could be expected. Charlotte felt a little relieved. So, do you still trust me? Christopher looked at her. His heart said yes, but his mind said be careful. I need time, Charlotte. This is a very big secret. I understand. But the children love you. That won't change. Thank you. As Christopher was leaving, he turned around. Charlotte, do you have any other secrets? Charlotte stopped. She knew things about Victoria, but could she tell him? No, Christopher. No other secrets. But that was also a lie. Charlotte knew this would come out one day, too. On Wednesday afternoon, while Charlotte was playing with the twins in the garden, a luxurious red Ferrari pulled into the driveway of the manor. She had never seen a car like that here before. I wonder who it is, she murmured. A tall blonde woman wearing designer clothes got out of the car. She wore sunglasses and walked toward the manor. Mason and Noah stopped playing when they saw the car. Who is that, Charlotte? Noah asked. I don't know, children. Let's go inside. But it was too late. The woman opened the garden gate and came straight toward them. Mason! Noah! Mommy's here, she called dramatically. The twins hid behind Charlotte. Who are you? Mason asked fearfully. The woman took off her sunglasses. Her perfectly made-up face with cold blue eyes was revealed. I'm Victoria, your mother. You can't have forgotten me. You're not our mother, Noah said harshly. Victoria smiled, but her eyes were cold. Of course I'm your mother, darling. I'm just on a long trip. Charlotte stepped forward. Children, go inside. Victoria looked at Charlotte and froze for a moment. She recognized the face, but from where? Who are you? Victoria asked. I'm Charlotte Carter, the children's nanny. Victoria looked her up and down. Nanny, huh? Interesting. Just then, Christopher came home. When he got out of his car and saw Victoria, his face tensed. Victoria, what are you doing here? Christopher, darling, I want to see my children. Your children? Christopher approached angrily. You haven't written them a letter in 2 years. Business trips were very busy. Stop lying, Victoria. Why did you really come? Victoria put on an innocent expression. I missed my children. I want to be a mother again. Too late, Victoria. You left their lives. I have legal rights, Christopher. I'm their mother. Charlotte tried to take the children into the house, but Victoria's voice stopped them. Mason, Noah, talk to your mother. Mason squeezed Charlotte's hand. Charlotte is our mother. Not you. Victoria's face hardened. What has this nanny taught you? Charlotte didn't teach us anything, Noah said, gaining courage. We don't even remember you. Because you were too young. But you used to yell at us. Mason remembered. We were always crying. Victoria was surprised. The children remembered. Christopher intervened. Enough. Victoria, the children don't want you. Get out of here. Christopher, don't be so harsh. I've changed. You haven't changed, Victoria. You're still the same selfish woman. When they entered the house, Catherine was standing in the doorway of the living room. When she saw Victoria, her face wrinkled. Victoria! What a surprise! Catherine! How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Are you still the same Victoria? Victoria tried to smile. People change, Catherine. Some do, some don't. Christopher entered the living room. Victoria, we have nothing to talk about. But we do, Christopher. I have plans for the children. What plans? I want to take them. They can stay with me for a few weeks. Are you crazy? They don't even know you. That's why we need to spend time together. Charlotte took the children to the kitchen. Maria greeted them. Who is that woman? Maria asked. Victoria. The children's biological mother, Charlotte replied. Oh no. That woman? The children don't love her. I know, Maria. They were very scared. Mason hugged Charlotte. Charlotte, will that woman take us? No, my child. No one can take you. But she said she's our mother. She's your biological mother, but she abandoned you. Real mothers don't abandon their children. Noah nodded. You're our real mother, Charlotte. In the living room, the argument continued. Christopher, I'm their mother. I have legal rights. Victoria, the court removed you from custody. Did you forget? I can appeal. Go ahead. The children will testify against you. Victoria was getting angry. Is this because of that nanny? She's turning them against me. Charlotte didn't do anything. You turned them against you. Catherine intervened. Victoria, the children are happy now. Why do you want to interfere? Because I'm their mother. Being a mother isn't just about giving birth, Victoria. When Victoria went out to the garden, she saw James. She decided to talk to the driver. James, we haven't talked in a while. Ma'am. How are you? I'm fine. Could you give me some information about this new nanny? James became suspicious. What kind of information? Where did she come from? How did she get the job? She saved the children from the fire. Mr. Bennett hired her out of gratitude. Fire? Which fire? The one at Little Star's nursery. Miss Carter became a hero. Victoria began to think. Where did she know this woman from? James, what else do you know about her? She's a very good person, ma'am. The children love her very much. What about her past? I don't know, ma'am. But my advice is not to interfere with this family. Everyone is happy now. Victoria turned angrily. This is my family, James. It used to be your family, James replied. At dinner, the atmosphere was tense. Victoria had announced that she would be staying. I'll spend the night here. I want to spend time with the children. Victoria, you have no place in this house, Catherine said. This house has 15 rooms, Catherine. I can stay one night. Christopher objected. The children don't want you here, Victoria. They'll get used to it. Charlotte was eating her dinner quietly. She could feel Victoria's stares. Miss Carter, isn't it? Victoria suddenly asked. Yes. You look too young to be a nanny. I'm 28. Where did you work before? Charlotte hesitated. I was teaching at a nursery. Which one? Little Stars. The one that had the fire? Yes. Interesting coincidence, isn't it? You saved my children, and now you're their nanny. Charlotte was uncomfortable. It's just a coincidence. Coincidences make me suspicious, Miss Carter. Christopher intervened. Victoria, don't attack Charlotte. I'm not attacking. I'm just curious. That night, while Victoria stayed in her old room, Charlotte put the children to bed. Charlotte, will that woman leave? Mason asked. I'm sure she will. What if she tries to take us? No one can take you children. I promise. After the children fell asleep, Charlotte encountered Victoria in the hallway. Miss Carter, I want to talk to you. The children are asleep. We can talk tomorrow. No, we'll talk now. Victoria cornered Charlotte. Who are you really? Charlotte Carter. Nanny. Stop lying. I know you. Charlotte's heart raced. How do you know me? I don't remember you yet, but I will. Victoria narrowed her eyes. When I remember, I'll have you thrown out of this house. Charlotte was frightened. Did Victoria know everything? Charlotte woke up around midnight. She heard footsteps coming from outside. Her door slowly opened. Who's there? She whispered fearfully. Victoria entered. She was wearing a nightgown and looked like a shadow in the darkness. Weren't you sleeping, Miss Carter? Victoria! What are you doing here? Victoria closed the door and approached Charlotte. We need to have a private conversation. We can talk tomorrow. Please leave now. No, we'll talk now. Victoria sat on the edge of the bed. Charlotte pulled back. I finally remembered you, Charlotte Carter. Charlotte's blood froze. What do you mean? 3 years ago, do you remember Michael's death? Charlotte couldn't breathe. You were there. You were wearing a firefighter uniform. You saw me. Victoria, please. You saw me. Victoria's voice was threatening. Charlotte began to tremble. Yes. I saw you. I went to Michael's house that night. You were there too. You know everything. I don't know. I don't know anything. Victoria laughed. Don't lie, Charlotte. You saw a lot that night. Victoria, what do you want? I want you to stay quiet. What won't I speak about? Victoria stood up. About that night. About Michael. About everything. I don't understand. You understand. You know a lot. But if you open your mouth. Victoria approached Charlotte. I'll tell Christopher the truth. What truth? You're responsible for Michael's death. You couldn't save him. It was your fault. Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. That's not true. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. If I tell Christopher, will he believe you? Victoria, please. You came to this house on purpose. You hid your connection to Michael. You're deceiving Christopher. That's not true. I came by coincidence. Who will believe you? You're a liar, Charlotte. Victoria walked toward the door. If you say a word about me, I'll destroy you. Victoria, stop. I'll tell Christopher how you killed Michael. I'll also keep the children away from you. She stopped at the door. Think carefully, Charlotte. Your place in this family is very fragile. After Victoria left, Charlotte collapsed onto her bed. Her hands were shaking and her breathing was rapid. What will I do? What will I do? She murmured. She picked up her phone. She was going to call Jessica, but she gave up. It was too late. She couldn't wake her up. She wouldn't be able to sleep until morning. The next morning at breakfast, Charlotte looked very pale. Charlotte, are you okay? Mason asked. I'm fine, just tired. Just tired. Christopher looked at her. Did you go to bed late? A little. Nothing to worry about. Victoria came to the table. Good morning, everyone. I slept very well. Charlotte tried not to look at her. Charlotte, did you think about our conversation last night? Victoria smiled. What conversation? Christopher asked. Private girl talk, Victoria explained. Right, Charlotte? Charlotte nodded. Yes, private. Throughout the day, Charlotte was distracted. Even while playing with the twins, her mind was elsewhere. Charlotte, you forgot the game. Noah said. I'm sorry, children. I'm a little tired. Maria observed Charlotte in the kitchen. Something was wrong. Sweetie, you're acting differently today. How different? Like you're scared. What's happening? Nothing, Maria. I'm just tired. This isn't tiredness, Charlotte. This is fear. Charlotte wanted to hug Maria, but Victoria's threats were on her mind. I'm really fine, Maria. But Maria didn't believe her. At noon, Christopher came home early. He found Charlotte in the garden. Charlotte, can I talk to you? Of course. You've been acting differently since this morning. Did something happen? Charlotte hesitated. No, everything's normal. Are you sure? The children noticed too. I'm just tired, Christopher. Is it about Victoria? Is she bothering you? The thought, yes. She's threatening me, crossed Charlotte's mind. But she couldn't do it. No, Victoria and I are fine. Christopher was suspicious. Charlotte, you can trust me. If Victoria did something to you. She didn't do anything. Please don't worry. Christopher was disturbed. Charlotte was distancing herself from him. That evening, after putting the children to bed, Charlotte went up to her room. Victoria was waiting for her in the hallway. Good girl, Charlotte. You know how to keep your mouth shut. Victoria, what do you want? Just for you to stay quiet. As I said. What about you? When will you leave? I don't know yet. Maybe I'll never leave. What do you mean? This is my house, Charlotte. You're just a guest. Victoria smiled. Guests always leave sooner or later. That night, Charlotte couldn't sleep again. In her dreams, she saw Michael. Fire, smoke, and screams. Charlotte! Charlotte! Michael called to her. Watch out for Victoria. Michael, what do you mean? She's dangerous. Warn Christopher. Charlotte woke up covered in sweat. Her heart was beating wildly. She picked up her phone. She should call Jessica. But Victoria's threats were on her mind. I can't put Jessica in danger too. In the following days, Charlotte became even more withdrawn. She avoided talking to Christopher and wasn't as close to the children as before. Why doesn't Charlotte play with us anymore? Mason asked his father. I don't know, son. Maybe she's tired. But she's always tired. She looks sad too. Christopher was worried. Charlotte's behavior was strange. Maria was thinking the same thing. This girl has changed a lot. There's fear in her eyes. William agreed. I've noticed it too. She's been acting very differently since Victoria arrived. Do you think it's related to Victoria? Maybe. That woman always causes trouble. Meanwhile, Victoria continued implementing her plan. She watched Charlotte, keeping her under pressure. Good girl, she murmured. Keep it up, Charlotte. Otherwise, I'll destroy everything you have. At dinner, Victoria winked at Charlotte. Right, Charlotte? You're very happy here. Charlotte forced a smile. Yes, very happy. But no one believed her. Especially Christopher. Charlotte, are you really okay? I'm fine, Christopher. Very fine. But her eyes said the opposite. That night, Christopher thought, what's happening to Charlotte? Where does Victoria fit into this? He would have to wait much longer to find out. Worried about Charlotte's condition, Christopher called Dr. Marcus Webb. Doctor, you need to see Charlotte urgently. She's in very bad shape. What kind of symptoms are you seeing? Nightmares, daytime distraction, and withdrawal from the children. She's been very bad since Victoria arrived. I'll give her an appointment for tomorrow. Her trauma symptoms may be worsening. The next day, in Dr. Webb's office, Charlotte couldn't stop her hands from shaking. Charlotte, how are you feeling? I'm not well, doctor. Not well at all. Your sleep problems have worsened. Why? How could Charlotte explain? Victoria's threats and blackmail, and her visits at night. It's just that the past keeps coming back to mind. Michael's death. Yes, and other things. What things? Charlotte fell silent. I can't say, doctor. Charlotte, you're safe here. Everything remains confidential. Someone is threatening me. Dr. Webb leaned forward. Who is threatening you? I can't say. But I can't take it anymore. Is this person related to Michael's death? Charlotte nodded. Don't you know, doctor? I told you something else about him. Yes, that you knew Michael. Not just him. I saw someone else that night. Dr. Webb began taking note. Who was it? Someone who came to Michael's house. Before the fire. This is very important, Charlotte. Did you tell the police? I told them, but they didn't believe me. There was no evidence. And now this person is threatening you? Yes. They're saying that if I open my mouth, they'll tell Christopher everything that's wrong. Dr. Webb was concerned. Charlotte, this is very dangerous. You should tell Christopher. I can't. Then I'll lose everything. Meanwhile, Tony Richards was conducting more detailed research in his office. He examined Michael Bennett's file. Fire report, police investigation, autopsy report. Interesting, he murmured. The security camera recorded a woman 30 minutes before the fire started. He examined the camera footage. The quality wasn't high, but there was something familiar. This woman. Tony looked closely. This looks like Victoria. He picked up the phone and called his old friend, Detective Johnson. Jim, it's Tony Richards. I need information about the Michael Bennett case. That case was closed, Tony. Accidental fire. But there was a suspicious woman, wasn't there? There was, but there was insufficient evidence. Only one firefighter witnessed her, but… Which firefighter? Charlotte Carter. But her word wasn't believed. Tony's heart raced. Why wasn't she believed? She had experienced too much trauma. Smoke poisoning, shock. Her story was inconsistent. What did she say? She said Michael's last words were, "Stop, Victoria." Tony hung up the phone. That's the truth. Victoria killed Michael. When Christopher came home that day, he found Tony waiting for him. Tony, is there something urgent? Yes, sir. There's important information. I'm listening. There are new findings about Michael's death. Christopher stood up. What findings? Charlotte witnessed something that night, but no one believed her. What did she see? Victoria visiting Michael. Christopher froze. Victoria? Yes, sir. Michael's last words were, "Stop, Victoria." Are you sure? It's written in the police reports, but the case was closed due to insufficient evidence. Christopher's world shook. Victoria, did she? Michael? I think so, sir. Meanwhile, Victoria was trying to manipulate Christopher. At dinner, she began, "Christopher, I'm worried about Charlotte." Why? She's been acting very secretive lately. She's hiding something from you. Victoria, Charlotte is a good person. Good people don't keep secrets, darling. Catherine interrupted. Victoria, you used to keep secrets too. This is different, Catherine. I'm just trying to protect Christopher. Christopher was getting annoyed. Victoria, what's your problem with Charlotte? Nothing. I just think she's deceiving you. How is she deceiving me? She's hiding her true identity. Do you really know who she is? Christopher had fallen silent. Actually, Victoria was right. Charlotte was hiding many things. That evening, while Charlotte was putting the children to bed, Mason asked her questions. Charlotte, why don't you play with us anymore? We do play, dear. No, not like before. You're always sad. Noah joined in, too, and you haven't smiled at all since Victoria came. Charlotte's heart broke. The children were noticing. I'm just tired, children. Charlotte, Mason asked seriously, are you going to leave us? Why do you think that? Because Victoria left too. Are you going to go away too? Charlotte hugged him. No, Mason. I'll never leave you. But even as she said these words, Victoria's threats were on her mind. That night, Catherine thought about things in her room. The tension in the house was palpable. She called Helen. Helen, very strange things are happening in this house. How strange, ma'am? Victoria's return, Charlotte's change, Christopher's worry. What do you think is happening? I don't know, but there's something between the three of them. Victoria knows something. About Charlotte? Or maybe Charlotte knows something about Victoria. Both are possible. Catherine was thoughtful. Helen, I'll talk to Victoria tomorrow. What is that woman looking for here? That night, Charlotte couldn't sleep again. When she heard footsteps in the hallway, she locked her door. Victoria began knocking on the door. Charlotte, open the door. Go away, Victoria. I'm tired. Open the door, or I'll scream. Charlotte helplessly opened the door. What do you want? I talked to Christopher. His trust in you is wavering. What did you tell him? Just the truth. You're lying to him. Victoria, please leave me alone. If you do what I want, I'll leave you alone. What do you want? Victoria smiled. Leave this house. Leave of your own will. Never. The children need me. Then you'll get yourself into trouble, Charlotte. As Victoria left, she turned. Last chance. Either you leave of your own volition, or I'll have you thrown out. Charlotte collapsed to the floor. She couldn't take it anymore. But how could she abandon the children? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? She murmured, crying. The time to decide had come. She would either submit to Victoria or tell the truth and take the risk. Charlotte couldn't take it anymore. There were Victoria's constant threats, having to stay away from the children, and Christopher's suspicious looks. It was all too much. On Wednesday morning, while preparing breakfast for the twins, she made her decision. She would tell the truth. Whatever happened, she would tell the truth. Mason and Noah, stay with Maria today. I need to talk to your father. Why, Charlotte? Did something happen? Mason was worried. No, dear. Just an important conversation. When Christopher came home at noon that day, Charlotte was waiting for him. Christopher, I need to talk to you. It's very important. I'm listening, Charlotte. Can we go to the library? So no one can hear us. Christopher's heart raced. Of course. In the library, Charlotte couldn't stop her hands from shaking. Christopher, I'm going to tell you everything. But please listen to the end. Okay. 3 years ago I was at Michael's fire. You know that. But there's something you don't know. Christopher moved closer. What is it? On the way to the hospital, Michael told me something. What did he say? Charlotte took a deep breath. He said Victoria's name. He said, "Stop, Victoria." Christopher froze. What? That night, Victoria came to Michael's house. Before the fire. Are you sure? Yes, I saw her. I saw her enter the apartment. Christopher stood up. Why didn't you tell me until now? Because I was scared. I told the police, but they didn't believe me. Did Victoria start the fire? Charlotte nodded, tears in her eyes. Michael told me it was intentional. Victoria did it for the inheritance. Inheritance? Christopher shouted. Yes. He told you he was going to change his will. He said he wouldn't leave anything to Victoria. Christopher's world shook. Are you saying Victoria killed Michael? Yes, Christopher. Victoria killed her brother. Christopher began trembling with rage. Victoria! He ran to the living room. Victoria was watching television. Victoria! Come here now. Christopher, why are you shouting? Go to the library immediately. Victoria was disturbed. Charlotte stood at the door with red eyes. What's going on? A family meeting? Christopher walked toward her. Victoria, I'm going to ask you something, and I want an honest answer. Of course, darling. Did you visit Michael 3 years ago? Victoria's face changed. Which day? The day he died. I don't remember. Don't lie. Christopher slammed the table. Christopher, calm down. You killed Michael. You started the fire. Victoria backed away. This is nonsense. Who said this? Christopher pointed to Charlotte. She said it. She was there that night. Victoria looked at Charlotte. There was nothing left to hide now. Do you believe this woman? This lying woman? Victoria, tell the truth. The truth is, this woman is a liar. She killed Michael. What? Victoria had gone on the attack. Charlotte didn't save Michael. She acted slowly on purpose. Victoria, shut up. She's deceiving you, Christopher. She came here on purpose. She's hiding her connection with Michael. Christopher looked at Charlotte. Is this true? Charlotte was crying. No. I did everything I could. Liar! Victoria shouted. You wanted Michael to die. Enough! Christopher shouted angrily. Victoria, did you go to Michael's house? Yes or no? Victoria was cornered. Yes. I went. Why? To talk. Talk about what? You said you were going to file for divorce. Michael was also acting against me. What do you mean? Victoria was going crazy. He said he would change his will. He said he would remove me from his will. So what did you do? We just talked. Charlotte interrupted. She's lying, Christopher. Michael told me. Victoria is trying to kill me. Shut up. Victoria lashed out at Charlotte. You saw too much that night. Christopher understood. You were threatening Charlotte. That's why she was so scared. I didn't threaten anyone. Victoria, tell the truth. Did you start the fire? Victoria paused for a moment. Then she laughed. Can you prove it? Just then, Tony Richards entered. Mr. Bennett, I'm sorry, but there's an emergency. Tony, now is not a good time. Sir, there's security camera footage from Michael's apartment. From Michael's apartment. Victoria's face went pale. What footage? Christopher asked. It's of Mrs. Victoria entering Michael's house that night. She left 10 minutes later. Victoria panicked. This isn't evidence. Most importantly, Tony continued, she was holding a gasoline can when she left. This is fabricated. Victoria screamed. Christopher looked at her. Victoria Sterling, you killed my brother. Christopher, believe me. I can't believe you. You killed Michael for money. Victoria looked around desperately. Okay, yes. I went there. And I told him not to change his will. Then what? He wouldn't accept it. He yelled at me and kicked me out. So, did you start the fire? Victoria began crying. I just wanted to scare him. What did you do, Victoria? I was playing with the stove in the kitchen to scare him, but it got out of control and the fire started. Christopher was going mad with rage. You started it intentionally. No. It was an accident. Liar. You killed Michael. Meanwhile, Catherine Bennett stood at the door. She had heard everything. Christopher, she said calmly. Mother. I heard everything. You are a disgusting woman. Victoria pleaded with Catherine. Catherine, please. You killed my son's brother. You were the mother of my grandchildren. I've changed. You never changed, Victoria. You've always been a selfish, greedy woman. Catherine turned to Christopher. Son, call the police. Mother. Call them. This woman is a murderer. Victoria was panicking. Wait. Charlotte is guilty too. She hid it too. Christopher looked at Charlotte. Did you tell the police? Yes, but they didn't believe me. They said there was no evidence. And you didn't tell me because you were scared. Yes. Victoria was threatening me. Christopher turned to Victoria. You threatened Charlotte to keep her quiet. You will shut up. Christopher picked up the phone. Tony, call the police. Right away, sir. As a last resort, Victoria attacked Charlotte. This is all your fault. If you had only saved Michael. Charlotte was crying. I did everything I could. Liar. You're a murderer too. Christopher stopped Victoria. Enough. You're the murderer, Victoria. Only you. Catherine went to her son's side. Christopher, you made the right decision. Mother, Michael's revenge has been taken. Now he can rest in peace. Charlotte was crying in the corner. Christopher approached her. Charlotte, I'm sorry. I didn't believe you. It doesn't matter, Christopher. It matters. You're a very brave woman. You stood up to Victoria alone. I was scared, but I did it for the children. Yes, for the children. You're a wonderful mother, Charlotte. As the police sirens approached, Victoria said her last words. You'll regret this. All of you will regret this. But no one believed her anymore. The truth had come out. As the sirens grew louder, Tony Richards showed Christopher the files in his hands. Mr. Bennett, the security camera footage is here. Mrs. Victoria entered Michael's apartment at 9:30 p.m. that night. Christopher looked at the footage. Victoria had a bag in her hand. She left at 9:40 p.m. This time, the bag in her hand looked bigger. Gasoline, Christopher murmured. She brought gasoline. Victoria was crying helplessly in the corner. I just wanted to scare him. I just wanted to make Michael change his mind. You're lying, Victoria, Charlotte said, her voice trembling. Michael told me everything. You threatened him. He yelled at me. He was going to take away my inheritance. Detective John Reynolds entered through the door. Victoria Sterling? Yes, Christopher said, standing up. My brother's killer. Victoria turned to the police in panic. I'm not a killer. The fire was an accident. Detective Reynolds took out his handcuff. Victoria Sterling, you're under arrest for the death of Michael Bennett. No. This is unfair. As she was being handcuffed, Victoria pleaded with Christopher one last time. Christopher, I'm the mother of your children. You were never their mother, Christopher replied coldly. As Victoria was being taken away, she shouted, You'll regret this. Charlotte is lying to you. After the police left, the house became quiet. Charlotte was still shaking. Christopher, where are the children? Maria kept them in the garden. They shouldn't hear what happened. Charlotte stood up. I should tell them something. Charlotte, wait. Christopher held her hand. First, you need to be okay. I'm fine. No, you're not. You've been carrying this burden for months. Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. I was so scared, Christopher. Victoria was threatening me. I know. You're very brave. You avenged Michael. I couldn't save Michael. Charlotte, stop. Christopher took her face in his hands. You did everything you could for Michael. Victoria killed him, not you. But maybe if I had been faster. No, you were a hero that night. And now you're a hero again. Catherine entered the living room. Christopher, the children are wondering. We're coming now, Mother. Catherine approached Charlotte. Miss Carter, I owe you an apology. Why, ma'am? I regarded you with suspicion. But you saved this family. I just told the truth. And it took great courage. You stood up to Victoria alone. In the garden, Mason and Noah waited anxiously. Charlotte, are you okay? Mason ran over and hugged her. I'm fine, dear. Did Victoria leave? Noah asked. Yes, she left. She won't be coming back. Good, Mason said, relieved. She wasn't our real mother anyway. Christopher crouched down next to his children. Children, I want to tell you something. What, Dad? Victoria can never hurt you again. The police took her away. Why? Noah was curious. Because she did bad things. But now you're safe. Mason looked at Charlotte. Are you safe too, Charlotte? Yes, dear. Now we're all safe. At dinner that evening, everyone was relaxed. Victoria's absence had brought peace to the house. Charlotte, Christopher said, I want to thank you. For what? For your courage. For telling the truth. It was my duty. No, Charlotte, this was much more than duty. Catherine interrupted. Charlotte, you're now part of this family. Really? Of course. You saved the children twice, once from the fire and once from Victoria. Mason clapped his hands with joy. So Charlotte is from our family? Yes, Christopher smiled. Charlotte is from our family. That night, Charlotte thought in her room. For the first time in months, she felt at peace. There was a knock on her door. It was Christopher. Did I disturb you? No, come in. Charlotte, I want to tell you something. I'm listening. You were incredibly strong during this process. Despite Victoria's threats, you told the truth. I had no other choice. For the children. Just for the children? Charlotte looked at him. What do you mean? You did it for this family. You did it for me too. Charlotte blushed. Christopher, I know this is complicated, but you're not just a nanny here anymore. Then what am I? Christopher came closer. You're the heart of our family, Charlotte. Charlotte's heart raced. Christopher, I know you need time. But Victoria is gone. Now, it's just us. Charlotte smiled. Just us. Just us. For the first time in months, Charlotte truly felt safe. A week later, life was beginning to return to normal. Victoria's absence had brought peace to the house. Charlotte was playing with the twins in the garden when Christopher arrived home. Dad! Mason ran. Charlotte taught us a new game. Really? What kind? It's a trust game, Noah explained. You close your eyes and your friend holds you. Christopher smiled. Nice game. Trust is very important. Charlotte gave him a meaningful look. Their relationship had changed in recent days. Children, get ready for dinner, Charlotte said. Okay. The twins ran inside. Christopher stayed next to her. I want to talk to them. About what? About us. Charlotte's heart raced. Christopher. Charlotte, there's no need to hide anymore. We both know. Know what? These feelings between us aren't just a work relationship. Charlotte blushed. This is complicated. Why is it complicated? Victoria is gone. You're happy here. And I. And you what? Christopher held her hand. I'm in love with you, Charlotte. Charlotte held her breath. Christopher, I've known since the first day. It's not because you saved my children. It's because of who you are. I'm just Charlotte. No, you're a strong, brave, kind woman. You're perfect. That evening, after putting the children to bed, Charlotte went out to the garden. Christopher was waiting for her. Did you think about it? He asked. Yes. And Charlotte turned to him. I love you too, Christopher. Christopher came closer. Really? Yes, but I'm scared. Why? Because of my past with Michael. What if you blame me one day? Christopher caressed her face. Charlotte, Michael's death isn't your fault. It's Victoria's fault. But. No buts. You tried to save my brother. That makes you a hero. Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. I was so scared, Christopher. Of Victoria, of the past, of everything. You don't need to be scared anymore. I'm here. He came closer to her. Charlotte Carter, will you marry me? Charlotte froze. What? I'm proposing marriage. The children have already accepted you as their mother. Christopher, this is so sudden. I've been alone for 2 years, Charlotte. Life has changed since you came. What will the children say? Christopher smiled. Let's ask them. When they entered the living room, Mason and Noah looked at them curiously. Children, I want to ask you something, Christopher said. What, Dad? Do you want Charlotte to stay with us? Forever. Of course. Mason exclaimed. She's already like a mother to us, Noah added. Christopher looked at Charlotte. See? They want it too. Charlotte crouched down to the children. Do you really want this? Yes, Charlotte. You're our real mother. Mason hugged her. Victoria just gave birth to us. But you love us, Noah said, joining in the hug. Charlotte started crying. I love you very much too, children. Christopher got down on his knees. Charlotte Carter, will you marry me? Charlotte looked around. Christopher, Mason, Noah. They had become her family. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I'll marry you. Catherine had heard voices from upstairs and came down. What's happening here? Grandma. Mason ran over. Charlotte is going to marry Dad. Catherine smiled. Really? Yes, ma'am, Charlotte said shyly. If you approve, too. Charlotte, you saved this family. Of course I approve. Maria came out of the kitchen. What's happening? What's happening? Maria, Charlotte is getting married. Noah said excitedly. Que maravilla. Maria hugged Charlotte. I'm so happy for you, beautiful. That night, Christopher and Charlotte sat in the garden making plans. When do you want to get married? Christopher asked. I don't know. What do you think? It could be tomorrow. But if you want a big wedding. No, Charlotte shook her head. Just a simple ceremony. Just family. Perfect. How about in 3 weeks? Good. Christopher hugged her. I love you, Charlotte Carter. I love you too, Christopher Bennett. Finally, Charlotte had found a safe home. 3 weeks later, a small wedding ceremony was held in the Bennett mansion garden. Charlotte wore a simple white dress while waiting for Christopher. Mason and Noah were the ring bearers. Dear friends, said Pastor Williams, we are here today to unite Christopher and Charlotte. Catherine, Maria, and the loyal staff were watching. Jessica Morrison had also come. Christopher Bennett, do you accept Charlotte Carter as your spouse? I do. Charlotte Carter, do you accept Christopher Bennett as your spouse? I do. You may exchange rings. Mason and Noah proudly handed over the rings. I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. When Christopher and Charlotte kissed, everyone applauded. Hooray! Mason and Noah shouted with joy. During the celebration, Charlotte announced some news. I have something I want to announce to everyone. What? Christopher asked. I'm pregnant. Everyone was shocked. Then, great cries of joy arose. Really? Christopher hugged her. Yes, 2 months. Mason asked excitedly. Will we have a sibling? Yes, children. You'll have a little brother or sister. Noah clapped. Hooray! We'll be big brothers. Catherine watched her grandchildren with tears in her eyes. You've become the perfect family. That evening, Charlotte and Christopher sat in the garden making plans. Do you want a boy or a girl? Christopher asked. It doesn't matter. As long as it's healthy. Mason and Noah are very excited. They'll be wonderful big brothers. Christopher held her hand. Charlotte, I'm very happy. Me too. Finally, I have a real family. And Victoria will never come again. Yes, now there's only happiness. As the happy family made plans in the moonlight, Charlotte thought. This story, which began with a fire, had ended with love.